How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, September 13th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through the big games that happened yesterday and what to look forward to today, especially with the first week of football just, over the horizon. So first, without further ado, I'm going to take you into last night's basketball. And in Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals, the top seed Los Angeles Lakers were able to advance past the 4th seed Houston Rockets after beating them 119 and 96 to secure the first spot in the Western Conference Finals against the winner of the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Looking into this game, as it was the Houston Rockets' very last game of the season, Jeff Green would be their only double-digit scorer off the bench as he finished with 13 points and a couple of rebounds in 25 minutes played. Out of their starters, it would be Russell Westbrook. He would be their elite point guard in 36 minutes. Would finish with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and a couple of steals as he shot 4 for 13 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and he made 2 of his 6 free throw attempts. And their big performance of the night would come from their elite shooting guard, James Harden, who in 42 minutes would finish with 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists with a steal and a block. He finished with 6 turnovers and 5 fouls. He shot 12 for 20 from the field in 42 minutes, 2 for 8 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line, in an impressive performance to end an amazing season for James Harden. A season in which he led the league in scoring yet again, and he finished in the top 5 in steals per game, completely changing how the world has viewed him as a player. He's changed the way I viewed him as a player, and considering this is the last game of the season for the Houston Rockets, I think they played incredibly well. And I think the Russell Westbrook experiment, for the most part, not worked out completely, but it most definitely was not a failure. Jumping to the Los Angeles Lakers, how they finished this series. Off the bench, Kyle Kuzma would finish with 17 points and 4 rebounds in 27 minutes as he shot 3 for 6 from 3 off the bench. Out of their starters, their shooting guard Kentavious Caldwell-Pope would finish with 10 points in 28 minutes. Their elite power forward Anthony Davis would finish with 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists in 34 minutes. As he shot 4 for 9 from the field and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Their shooting guard Danny Green would finish with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist as he shot 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. Marcus Morris, their power forward, would finish with 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. I'm sorry, that's Markieff Morris. I get the Twins mixed up sometimes. And, of course, the elite performance from the Lakers would come from their GOAT-level, possible greatest player of all time, LeBron James. Their small forward, their point guard, who would finish the game with 29 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and a couple of steals. He shot 9 for 18 from the field in 31 minutes, 3 for 8 from 3, and he made 8 of his 10 free throw attempts. And like I said, with this win, the Los Angeles Lakers will advance, and they're the third team to book a spot in the conference finals level or conference final round. And as of Sunday, September 13th, only 5 teams remain in the NBA. And looking forward to today at 1 o'clock on ESPN. The second seed Los Angeles Clippers will look to advance to the Western Conference Finals with a win over the Denver Nuggets today. And if not, the Denver Nuggets can force a Game 7 with a win today at 1 p.m., of course, with kickoff from all the other leagues going on. So, of course, that's a big game to look forward to in terms of the NBA. We're going to jump to the WNBA bubble very quickly before I move on with that. Jumping into the games from yesterday. First off, the Washington Mystics beat the New York Liberty 75-58 last night. The Liberty scored 11. They couldn't score over 20 points in any of their quarters. Not a great game for them. Maisha Hines-Allen would finish with 25 points and 11 rebounds to help the Mystics get their 8th win of the season. Additionally, the Las Vegas Aces were able to beat the Los Angeles Sparks by 14. They beat them 84-70 off of Aja Wilson's 19 points and 8 rebounds. And the Minnesota Lynx would finish with beating the Fever 98-86 behind Rachel Banham's 29 points and 10 assists. Looking forward to today, the Dallas Wings take on the New York Liberty at 12 o'clock, and the Liberty, they've only won 2 of their first 21 games, so they're trying to get something turned around. At 3 o'clock on ABC, it'll be the 2 best teams in the WNBA as the Las Vegas Aces take on the Seattle Storm. And following that, the Washington Mystics take on the Atlanta Dream at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So those are games to look forward to. Jumping out to the NHL Stanley Cup bubble, because, of course, that season's still going on, or those playoffs are still going on. The Dallas Stars are able to beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights 2-1. All the goals were scored in the second period. And with this win, the Dallas Stars are now one game away from clinching a spot in the Stanley Cup final. And they're holding the number one seed Golden Knights. They're holding them down, where the Golden Knights can try to come back from down 3-1, but very rarely are teams able to do that. For Dallas, their goalie Anton Khudobin would finish. He'd be the best star of the game. He would have 32 saves on the day. He only allowed one goal. A big win for Dallas. And looking forward to today, the Lightning take on the Islanders for Game 4 of that series as the Tampa Bay Lightning lead it 2-1. So that's what to look forward to in the college, or in the hockey bracket. But right now I'm going to jump into college football before I finish with the MLB. What to look forward to today, or what happened yesterday on week 2. Just in terms of the top 25 matchups. First, top seed Clemson was able to beat Wake Forest 37-13 behind Trevor Lawrence's 351 total passing yards. He threw a touchdown, and I'm pretty sure he had 3 total touchdowns on the day. Big win, big game for Clemson. 5th-ranked Oklahoma would beat Missouri State 48-0. Spencer Rattler, their new starting quarterback, would throw 290 yards in 14 complete passes. He threw for 4 touchdowns. Another big game, Sam Ehlinger for Texas would finish with 426 yards and 5 touchdowns as the Texas beat UT El Paso 59-3 in their matchup. 10th ranked Notre Dame was able to beat Duke. They beat them 27-13 behind Ian Book's 263 yards. And then Kyron Williams had 112 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Notre Dame is now 1-0. And additionally, 18th ranked North Carolina was able to beat Syracuse 39-6 behind Sam Howell's 295 yards. And Iowa State was able to they lost to Louisiana Lafayette as the 23rd ranked team, is the first ranked team to lose this season. The Raging Cajuns are now 1-0 on the season behind Levi Lewis's 154 yards through the air. And Peter LeBlanc's 82 reception yards. Big win for Iowa. So big win for Louisiana Raging Cajuns, as Iowa State will now fall. I believe they will no longer be ranked following this. Jumping out to the top soccer performances of yesterday, just jumping out to the English Premier League. Starting off with Arsenal, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was able to score his first goal for the Premier League as he scored in the 57th minute against Fulham. Liverpool was able to beat Leeds United for their first win of the season, as Mo Salah, their elite forward, would finish with a hat-trick on the day. 2 of the goals were scored as penalties, and Virgil van Dijk, the Liverpool's elite defender, would score a goal in the 20th minute. And it would be Mo Salah's penalty kick in the 88th minute to secure this win for Liverpool, much needed win. But that's all that happened yesterday in terms of global soccer, what to look out for. But then looking forward to tomorrow, the Premier League's going to start off tomorrow. The Barcelona and the Real Madrid games did get postponed, but of course there are other games on. And Ligue 1 in France, PSG is going to take on Marseille for their first game of the season. So that's also something to look forward to today, especially because it is Sunday. And last but not least, I'll take you out to baseball just to show you what's been going on around the MLB on September 12th. Starting out in the East, the New York Yankees hosted the Baltimore Orioles and beat them 2-1 at home, in the 10th inning off of a Luke Voit sacrifice fly. Kramer would get the start for the Orioles. He'd allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched, striking out 7, but he would get no decision. Jordan Montgomery would get the start for the Yankees, only allowing 1 run, 0 earned in 5.2 innings pitched, striking out 9 batters on the day. For the New York Yankees, their third baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would finish 1 for 5 with 2 runs on the day. Luke Voit would finish 0 for 4 with an RBI. Clint Frazier their designated hitter would finish 1 for 3 with the other RBI. Their elite shortstop, Gleyber Torres, would finish 1 for 3 on the day. With this win, the New York Yankees are 25-21 in the American League East, while the Baltimore Orioles now drop to 20-25. Staying out in the East, staying in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the New York Mets and beat them 3-2 yesterday. Big win for Toronto as Robbie Ray picked up his second win of the season, first for the Toronto Blue Jays. He would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched, striking out 5 batters. For the New York Mets, their elite designated hitter, Pete Alonso, would finish 0-for-4 with 2 strikeouts on the day. Their shortstop, Ahmed Rosario, would finish 3-for-4. Looking out to the Blue Jays, their elite first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would finish 1-for-4 with a run. Their designated hitter, Jonathan Villar, will go on to finish 2-for-4 with an RBI. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are 25-20, and with this loss, the Mets are 21-25. Jumping out to Tampa Bay, the Rays would go on to host the Boston Red Sox and beat them 5-4 as Tyler Glass now would pick up his third win of the season. He's now 3-1 after allowing 4 earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters. Looking to the Boston Red Sox, their second baseman, Christian Arroyo, would finish 1-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He would go on to hit his first home run of the season for the Boston Red Sox. Looking out to Tampa Bay, they would have a lot of just all-around great hitting. Their center fielder, Manuel Margot, would finish 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs. Brandon Lau, their second baseman, would finish with his 12th home run of the season. He finished 1-for-4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are the first team in the American League to hit 30 wins on the season. And with this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 16-31. The Rays are 30-16 with their 30th win of the season, if I didn't mention it before. Jumping out to the National League East, the Washington Nationals, the defending champions, hosted the Atlanta Braves, who currently lead the NL East, and the Braves were able to beat the Nationals 2-1 as Ian Anderson jumps to 3-0 on the season. Patrick Corbin drops to 2-5. Corbin would allow 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 8 batters. Ian Anderson would allow no earned runs, and he would allow only 1 hit, striking out 9 batters in 7 innings pitched. Mark Melancon picked up his 10th save of the season. Going out to Washington, their elite designated hitter, Juan Soto, would finish 0-for-3, striking out once. Their shortstop, Trey Turner, would finish 1-for-4 with an RBI. For Atlanta, their elite center fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would finish 1-for-4 with a run. Their elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would finish 1-for-4. Marcell Ozuna finished 1-for-4 with an RBI. D'Arnaud, their designated hitter, would finish 2-for-4. And Ozzie Albies, the Atlanta Braves elite second baseman, would finish 1-for-4 with an RBI on the day. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are 27-19, and the defending champions, Washington Nationals, are now 17-27. Jumping out to the last game of the National League East, the Miami Marlins hosted and lost to the Philadelphia Phillies, who came in to beat them 12-6. Hembree would get the win for the Philadelphia Phillies as Howard got the start. For Miami, Jesus Aguilar, their first baseman, finished 3-for-4 with an RBI and 3 runs. He hit his 6th home run of the season. Also, Brian Anderson, their third baseman, finished 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his 6th home run of the season. For Philadelphia, their elite right fielder, Bryce Harper, would finish 3-for-4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 8th home run of the season. Their shortstop, Didi Gregorius, would finish 2-for-4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs, as Gregorius now has 7 home runs on the season. Gene Segura, their second baseman, would finish 2-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Big game for him as well. And their left fielder, Kyle Garlick, he would finish 1-for-5 with 3 RBIs. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are 23-20, and they're still red hot. And with this loss, the Miami Marlins dropped to 500 with a 21-21 record. Following that, jumping to the Centrals, starting out in Kansas City, the Royals hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates and were able to beat them 7-4. Zimmer picked up his first win of the season as a relief pitcher. And for the Pittsburgh Pirates, not much going on, but their left fielder, Adam Frazier, would finish 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Josh Bell, their first baseman, hit his sixth home run of the season as he finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Jumping out to Kansas City, their right fielder Whit Merrifield would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He now has 9 home runs on the season. Mondesi would finish 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He now has 4 home runs on the season for Kansas City. Their left fielder Alex Gordon would finish 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run as well. And with this win, the Kansas City Royals are now 19-28 as the Pirates drop to 14-29. Staying out in the American League Central, the Chicago White Sox hosted and completely blanked the Detroit Tigers for a 14-0 win. Lopez would pick up the win for the White Sox. Reynaldo Lopez would go on to allow no earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 2 batters. Fulmer got the start for the Detroit Tigers, not much going for them. But for the White Sox, their shortstop Tim Anderson would finish 4 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Yasmani Grandal, their catcher, would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs. Jose Abreu, the Chicago White Sox first baseman, I think would have the best hitting performance of the day. He'd finish 4 for 4 with 7 RBIs and 5 runs. He had 2 home runs in the game. Just considering he had 7, half of the White Sox 14 RBIs. Just big win for him. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are 29-16, and the Detroit Tigers are now 20-25 in the American League Central. Staying out in the American League, the Minnesota Twins hosted the Cleveland Indians and beat them 8-4. Rich Hill would pick up his second win of the season as Plesac picked up his second loss. Rich Hill would allow 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters on the day. For Cleveland, their elite shortstop Francisco Lindor would lead off for them, and he would finish 1 for 5 on the day. Their third baseman Jose Ramirez would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. He hit his 11th home run of the season. Jumping out to Minnesota, their left fielder Eddie Rosario would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 10th home run of the season for the Minnesota Twins. Their center fielder Brian Buxton finished 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Byron Buxton, he would also have a pretty big game. He had hit his 8th home run of the season. Their second baseman Marwin Gonzalez would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 4th home run of the season. With this win, the Twins are now 29-18, and the Indians are now 26-20 with this loss. Jumping out now to the National League just to show you what's going on in that over there. The Milwaukee Brewers hosted the Chicago Cubs and lost. Cubs beat them 4-2 in the 9th inning as Josh Hader picked up his second loss of the season. Hader would allow 4 earned runs in his last innings pitched. Kyle Hendricks would get the start for the Chicago Cubs. He would allow 2 earned runs and 7.2 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters. For Milwaukee, their elite left fielder, defending National League MVP, or not defending, but former National League MVP, Christian Yelich would finish 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts on the day. Their second baseman, Keston Hiura, would finish 2 for 4. Milwaukee Brewers designated hitter Daniel Vogelbach would finish 2 for 4 with a run on the day. Looking at Chicago, their elite first baseman, Chris Bryant, would finish 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Javier Baez, their elite shortstop, would finish 2 for 4 with a run. Jason Hayward, their right fielder, would finish 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run on the day as he hit a big 3-run home run in the 9th to help secure this win for Chicago. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 27-20 and the Milwaukee Brewers are now 20-23. Jumping out to the last NL Central game matchup of the night, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted the Cincinnati Reds and beat them 7-1 for their 20th win of the season. Dakota Hudson is now 3-2 with this win. He allowed 1 earned run, striking out 4 batters in 6 innings pitched. First, looking out for Cincinnati, their only RBI would come from their left fielder, Shogo Akiyama. He finished 0 for 4 on the day. Looking at St. Louis, their right fielder, Tommy Edman, would finish 2 for 4. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would finish 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 6th home run of the season. Their third fielder, Matt Carpenter, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 3rd home run of the season for them. And their center fielder, Harrison Bader, would go on to finish 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run. Harrison Bader would hit his 3rd home run of the season in the 6th inning in a 5-run inning for the Cardinals. With this win, the Cardinals are 20-19. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 20-26 in the National League Central. Last but not least, I'm going to take you out west, starting off with the doubleheader in Dallas. The Rangers hosted the Athletics, and in the first game, they beat them 5-2 in 7 innings off of a big 5-run first inning. For Oakland, For Oakland, their first baseman Matt Olson would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI, and of course their catcher Jonah Heim would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI. Jumping out to Texas, their second baseman Rougned Odor would finish 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run. He had a home run in the first inning, and Guzman did as well. As their first baseman, Ronald Guzman would finish 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Rangers kind of carried this momentum, but the Oakland A's would take Game 2 of this doubleheader, beating them 10-1 with Bassett as the starting pitcher. Behind starting pitcher Chris Bassett, the Oakland A's, he would only allow 1 earned run, striking out 8 batters in 6 innings pitched. Colby Allard picked up his 6th loss for Texas. Like I said, not much going on for them, but their right fielder Joey Gallo did finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 9th home run of the season. Looking out to Oakland, their shortstop Trevor Siemian finished 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 6th home run of the season, only home run of the day for the Oakland A's. Their catcher Sean Murphy would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as well. With this split doubleheader, the Oakland A's are now 29-16 in the American League West, and the Texas Rangers are now 16-30. Staying out in the American League West, the Houston Astros went to Dodger Stadium for that World Series matchup, and the Astros were able to come from behind and score 6 of their 7 runs in the last 2 innings to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 7-5. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, Urias would get the start. He would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched, striking out 3. But their closer, Kenley Jansen, would blow his 2nd save of the season, giving up 4 earned runs, 5 runs total, not even recording a single out. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, their elite right fielder Mookie Betts would finish 1 for 3 with a run on the day. Their shortstop Corey Seager would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run, as he had a pretty good game as well. Their catcher Will Smith would finish 2 for 4 with a run. Los Angeles Dodgers elite first baseman Cody Bellinger would finish 1 for 4 as he struck out twice. Their center fielder Chris Taylor would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 4th home run of the season. Jumping out to Houston, it would be Frankie Valdez with the start. James would get the win. George Springer would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run, as he had a pretty big game as well. Their elite third baseman Alex Bregman would finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their first baseman Gurriel would go on to finish 2 for 3, as Yuli Gurriel finished with 3 RBIs for the Houston Astros. Josh Reddick finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run, and their second baseman Aldemez Diaz did finish 2 for 4 with a run. With this win, the Houston Astros are now 23-23, as the Los Angeles Dodgers picked up their 14th loss. They're now 32-14 on the season. Jumping out to Colorado, the Rockies hosted the Los Angeles Angels as the Angels came into town and beat them 5-2 off of a big 3-run home run in the 9th inning by Jared Walsh, their catcher. But first, looking at what happened in this game, starting with Colorado. Freeland would get the start. He would allow 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters. Their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would finish 0-for-5 on the day. Not much hitting going around for Colorado, but their shortstop, Trevor Story, would go 2-for-5. Looking out to Los Angeles, their GOAT-level center fielder, Mike Trout, finished 1-for-4 with a run. Their first baseman, Walsh, finished 2-for-5 with 3 RBIs and a run, including a really big home run in the very end. Their future Hall of Fame designated hitter, Albert Pujols, finished 2-for-5 with an RBI. Justin Upton finished 2-for-5. With this win, the Angels are now 19-28 as the Rockies dropped to 21-24. Jumping out to Phoenix as the Diamondbacks hosted and lost to the Seattle Mariners. It would be their starting pitcher, Seattle Mariners starting pitcher Justice Sheffield with the win. He's now 3-3 after allowing 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched and striking out 7. Zach Gallen to pick up his second loss for Arizona, giving up 7 runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6. For Arizona, their third baseman, Wyatt Matheson, would go on to finish 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs as he had a pretty big game for them. Nick Ahmed finished 2-for-4 with a run. Jumping out to Seattle, their designated hitter, Ty France, finished 3-for-4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 4th home run of the season in the first inning. Their left fielder, Jose Marmoleos, would finish 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 5th home run of the season for Seattle. Torrens, their catcher, would go on to finish 2-for-4. Luis Torrens also had 2 RBIs. With this win, the Mariners are now 20-25 as the Diamondbacks drop to 17-30. And last but not least, No, I mean, actually, no. That was the last game of the day because the game between San Diego and San Francisco did get postponed. So with that said, just to look forward to the games today in the MLB because it is Sunday. There's gonna be some earlier games. We're gonna see how they schedule it around the NBA and around and around the NFL, starting with their week one. At 12:35, Kyle Wright's looking to take on Max Scherzer. Scherzer's looking to get his fifth win of the season. He's sitting with a 4-2 record currently at the moment for Washington. Other games to look forward to this day. J.A. Happ's looking to get his second win as the Yankees take on the Baltimore Orioles at 105 as well. Sixto Sanchez has gotten off to a pretty good start for Miami as they take on the Phillies at 110. Looking out for another game. Brad Keller is 3-2, looking to get his fourth win against the Pirates at 205. Tristan McKinney is 2-0. Michael Pineda is 1-0. The Cleveland Indians looking to take on the Minnesota Twins in a pretty big matchup at 210. Frankie Montas and the Oakland A's are looking to take on 5-2 Lance Lynn and the Texas Rangers at 235 as well. David Peterson and the Mets look to take on Hyunjin Ryu and the Toronto Blue Jays at 307. That's not serious. And then Johnny Cueto from the San Francisco Giants looks to take on Garrett Richards at 410 as the Giants take on the Padres. Zach Greinke looks to take on whichever starter the Dodgers will name at 8 o'clock as the Astros and the Dodgers game 2 of that series will happen as well. And last but not least, without further ado, looking forward to today's matchups. Starting with the 1 o'clock games, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks look to take on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. As this is going to be a pretty big game at 1 o'clock. The Jets and the Bills take on, they will also face off at 1 o'clock as this matchup between, I think this will be Sam Darnold and Josh Allen as they were in the same draft. This will be a very interesting game. Also at 1 o'clock, it'll be a matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. We're looking to see how the first game of that's going to go. Also, the Green Bay Packers will take on the Minnesota Vikings as Aaron Rodgers looks to take on one of the best defenses in all of football. Also, Cam Newton is going to make his New England Patriots debut against the Miami Dolphins at 1 o'clock on CBS. Also at 1 o'clock, Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to take on the Washington football team. As Chase Young looks to get his first game as a member of the Washington football team. Also, the Carolina Panthers and Christian McCaffrey look to take on the Las Vegas Raiders at 1 o'clock in Carolina. The Jacksonville Jaguars look to take on Phillip Rivers and the Colts at 1 o'clock in his first game. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens look to take on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, and those are the 1 o'clock games. Starting at 4:05, the Los Angeles Chargers will take on the Cincinnati Bengals as Joe Burrow makes his NFL debut on CBS. Following that at 4:30, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look to take on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, as that's going to be a pretty big matchup everyone's going to be looking forward to. And additionally, Kyler Murray, the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, is looking to take on the 49ers, the reigning the NFC champions who made it to the Super Bowl. So they're going to face off at 4:25. And tonight, it'll be a matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams on NBC. And that's just a lot to look forward to. But with that said, I really appreciate you for listening to all 28 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is Sunday, September 13th, 2020. There's a lot of playoff basketball and playoff hockey to be played, along with the WNBA bubble, just regular season baseball to be played, and of course week 1 of NFL football. But with that said, I really appreciate you for listening to all 28 minutes of this so far. And I really hope all is well in this quarantine. And once again, I hope all is well. Thank you once again for listening to my piece, and peace out.